Hey Magic fans, welcome to the Let's Talk Magic podcast game day preview. And we are looking ahead to tonight where the Orlando Magic are in Miami. It's a battle of state rivalry between two teams tied 7th and 8th in the East. Yes, it's time for the latest instalment of the Magic versus the Heat. Regular season game number 38 for the Magic. So we are in Miami and it is a 1 a.m. tip-off. Which is 8 p.m. in both Miami and Orlando. The Magic, let's talk about that first of all. Our season 21 and 16 so far. We lost the last game and are still 5 and 5 in the last 10 played. On the road, we are 8 and 11 this season and standing 8th in the East with a record that is tied 7th with Miami. But Miami do hold the tiebreaker so far this season, so have that 7th berth position over us. We are scoring 113.3 points per game and conceding 112. Offensively, we are ranked at 22nd, and on defence, we've moved back up. We have moved back up to the second best rated defensive team in the NBA. Yes, we are undermanned, and it is a difficult start to a 4-game Eastern Conference road trip. It's far from ideal. Orlando are also on their first night of a back-to-back, and we are headed to Oklahoma immediately after this fixture concludes. Back-to-backs, not brilliant so far this season. We are at 3 and 4 on the first night, and on the second night, a very disappointing 2 and 5. It's a shade better than last season, but it is only just better than last season. Last time out, the Magic played the Minnesota Timberwolves, and honestly, for any Orlando Magic fan, this was really a grim watch. There seemed to be a lack of energy and belief from the team from early on, and that lasted throughout the game. Yes, there'll be performances like this. There are in every sport, but it doesn't make them any easier to watch as a fan. The Timberwolves led from the start all the way through to the finish. The Magic had no answer to them, taking a 113-92 loss. The Wolves had led by as many as 34 points. Orlando shot a season-low 36.2% from the field. Mo Wagner led the team with 21 points. Jalen Suggs, he put up 20. Paolo Banchero finished with 18 points, and Trevelyan Queen rounded out the double-digit scoring with 11. Starting unit was Jalen Suggs, and Caleb Houston, Chuma Okeke, Paolo Banchero and Goga Bitadze. From the bench, we saw Cole Anthony, Anthony Black, Maurice Wagner, Markel Fultz and Trevelyan Queen. For tonight, start with the apparent good news. Joe Ingles, who has been out with a left ankle sprain, no longer appears on any injury report, so it looks like he is available to play. Franz Wagner, Gary Harris and Jonathan Isaac are all again confirmed out, unfortunately. Wendell Carter Jr. has been upgraded to day-to-day and questionable for the game. Finally, Kevon Harris, he's listed as out, coach's decision, and Jet Howard remains on a G League assignment. Look, it's likely that Coach Mosley will run with that same starting group. Perhaps we could see Anthony Black resume in the starting unit. That's entirely possible as he recovers from his illness. Markel Fultz, perhaps we see him slide back into the starting unit. He's still on a minutes restriction. That's still in effect. Assuming that Wendell isn't available, then I think Goga gets the start. The probable return of Joe Ingles is a huge boost to that second unit, the scoring threat that he possesses and the ability to bring a calm, experienced head to the game. Looking at Miami, season record of 21 and 16. They lost their last game and are at 6 and 4 in the last 10 played. As we say, they are 7th in the East, scoring 112.8, conceding 112.1. Very, very similar figures to ourselves. Rated 17th on offence and 14th defensively, so they are not ranked as good as ourselves on the D. At home, the Heat have a 10-7 record, and little has changed in respect of their statistics since we last played on the 20th of December, I think it was. Expect them to live off of a steady diet of 3 points and free throws. They are a low fouling, low turnover team. At a 3-point percentage of almost 39%, the Heat are the league's most efficient team from distance, making 12.9 of their 33 shots taken per game. The Heat's 3 stars, Tyler Herro, 22.4 points per game, Bam Adebayo 22.1, and Jimmy Butler 20.9 points per game account for over half of the team's scoring per game. And like the Magic, the Heat have had a bit of a slip in their efficiency for restricting opponents for points in the paint. They've dropped back a full point. They're conceding 48.9 points per game now, which is up from when we played them in December. However, Miami still excel at preventing second chance points. They are conceding only 12.3 per game. Last time out for the Heat, the Miami team took a home court 128-120 loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Heat held the lead for much of that game, ultimately losing it with 25 seconds of the third quarter remaining. OKC held on to that lead the rest of the way. All 5 starters for Miami scored in double figures, but Bam Adebayo led the team with 25 points and 11 rebounds for a double-double. Their excellent rookie, Jamie Jacques Jr., followed with 21 points. Haywood Highsmith chipped in with 19, Tyler Herro 17, and Nikola Jovic 15. They used only 3 players from the bench, of which Kevin Love led the bench unit with 12 points. You've just heard their starting 5 for that game. The other 2 that they used from the bench along with Love was Josh Richardson and Duncan Robinson. They had 1 or 2 players listed as available who did not play. They also had quite a few significant players absent in Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler and Caleb Martin, wrong team. I'll put my brain in gear. So for tonight, the Heat genuinely do still have some injury concerns. Jimmy Butler with a foot injury and Kyle Lowry with a hand, no doubt, from an injury when he fell to the floor flopping, are both listed as doubtful. Tyler Herro is listed as questionable with a shoulder injury. Caleb Martin is listed as questionable with an ankle injury. Drew Smith is out for the season with a knee injury. RJ Hampton, Cole Swider and Jamal Khan are their 3 two-way players and have not been featuring for coach Eric Spoelstra recently. Miami therefore could be forced into making a change from their previous outing. Equally, if Jimmy Butler is fit to go, he's straight back in, and you would expect that it's a huge boost to their chances of a victory in this matchup. Head to head with Miami, we've played 135 regular season games, and the score stands at 58-77 for the Heat. The teams have met once so far this campaign. A 9-game home court winning streak for Orlando was snapped by the 115-106 loss to the Heat. Miami absolutely blew the game open in the end of the second quarter. They made 11 straight floor shots going into half time. It had been a tight game up until that point, and we never recovered. Last season was a 3-1 win for the Heat, with 2 of the 4 victories coming in overtime. And we last won the series 2018-19 season, and that was a 3-1 victory, which ultimately saw us go to the playoffs and Miami miss out. So for final thoughts tonight, in that last meeting, Miami met Orlando with great physicality. It saw Orlando collectively struggle to get any rhythm, and that impacted on our scoring. Paolo Banchero, he will have to improve on the last showing against Miami if the Magic are to win. In that match, Paolo really did struggle with his shot. He made just 2 of 12 field goals attempted. yet again, Cole Anthony could be that catalyst for the team to take the win, particularly if Joe Ingles is to return tonight. The presence of Joe Ingles somehow frees Cole up for better shooting opportunities because Joe does possess that 3-point shot. In the opening game of this year's 4 with Miami, Cole gave the Magic a spark and he led the team with 20 points on 8 of 13 shooting. You will need an active NBA League Pass subscription if you do want to watch the game here in the UK. However, if you've enjoyed this preview, please give it a thumbs up, share it. It helps us do what we do. Hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. We very, very much appreciate it. But more importantly, as we always finish off by saying, let's go Magic, get that W.